Rhoyal remix.
I love that. I love
She
that.
knows I'm gonna do it.
I watch most of these episodes.
Okay, so today we have one of the most special guests I could ever think of. Honestly, I'm so excited for this because I feel like it's going to be healing to me. Her name is Kennedy Shepherd. Y'all, I'm going to have to insert the clapping, the woos, because she is actually amazing, and I'm so excited to have her here. So everybody welcome Kennedy Shepherd. That's such an official name, too. When I first met her, I would be like, this is the, what I call it? It sounds really bad, but it's not.
What did you call me?
Like the Coco Jones, like
yes, that's such an honor. She's so beautiful, and I've gotten that. I don't know if I really see it, but
it's
she's
your
beautiful.
voice too.
I love that.
It's like you get the little rasp. Yeah, it's really great, and she's so beautiful. So, one of the main things that connected the two of us was the fact that we're both PKs.
Yes,
and if you don't know what that means, tell them what it means.
Pastor's kids. But additionally, we're PKs of PKs.
Yes, that's a whole different level.
That's a different level of insanity.
What do you think the difference is between regular PK or people that don't have parents as PKs?
I don't even know. It's just if you know, you know.
Yeah.
But having like your grandparents be in ministry, then your parents be in ministry, it's like a double
whammy.
Yeah. Of just church on church. And so that's both of us.
Yeah. So you grew up in church, like church. Yes. Are you a hymn person? Do you know the hymns?
Yes. I was hoping you would ask me this. I was listening to some hymns on the way down here. I love me a hymn.
Wow.
And I noticed your dad.
He loves
a
hymn.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I like y'all services a lot, because he always will just sprinkle in a praise hymn or something. And I'm like, yes. Like, yeah, I love it.
That is hilarious. And it's so funny because we are similar that we're PKs, but we're different because I don't know hymns. But my dad loves hymns.
You don't know hymns?
I don't. When we first started doing hymns, like we recently, like maybe a couple months ago, we started to like actually do them on stage.
Really?
And people will always be like, "Oh yeah, you're good."
I love it.
Not at all. Really? I don't know what I missed. I don't know what I missed. I know like what's a basic one that everybody knows. Oh, gosh. If Jesus Loved Me is not a hymn, then I don't.
I guess anything could be a hymn the way you sing it. If it's slow and there's a lot of organ, you could really make anything a hymn. But just like, I don't know, the old timey, it's just the ones with like 4 verses and they're pretty much saying the same thing and then they go back to the chorus 10 times. That's a hymn.
Yeah.
And they just hit. You don't know hymns?
I mean, when they're played, I'm like, oh, maybe I think I heard that one before. But it's not like how you feel. So I think that's the difference, you know. Yeah. But I love that you are a PK because I don't meet a lot. I always say I don't meet a lot of PKs because I'm always here. Yeah. Like I'm always at my dad's church. Yeah. So like I don't know the PKs. Yeah. But we did what did we call it then? It was like a chat we had with a bunch of different PKs, and that's where I first met you.
PKs. What
PK panel? I don't know. But it was basically a panel of like my siblings, and then we talked. It was really not a panel. We were in a circular room. Yeah. But we just were talking about like growing up as a PK, what that looked like. Yeah. And the traumatic things that were happening in there.
Yeah. And so we met the Sunday before that. Because it was like the Legacy Week. We came to church. Yeah. I know your dad knew my dad from, I don't even know. They met church. Because we're also
Church of God.
We're a 3rd generation Davis and Shepherd duo. Our grandfathers knew each other. Our dads know each other.
And now we know each other.
And we're friends.
Yes. Generational. It's crazy.
Yes. But we met that Sunday before. And it was just like we clicked.
I'm like, this girl's cool. I was like, what are you guys doing after this? Like
I rode in the car with her home. Like we didn't know each other at all. And I remember you saying on that car ride how you were like, I don't really want to teach anymore. And you were like, I want to do like a podcast, like something more creative. I'm about to shout. Look at God. Look at God. And that was like our first conversation ever. Yeah. And then we came back that Saturday for the PK. I forgot what it was called.
I don't remember.
But like you and your siblings were really me and my siblings, our first experience with PKs that were our age. I didn't know nobody. My dad just became pastor 11 months ago.
No. Oh, that's another thing. So I wanted to ask you about that because, you know, growing up as a PK, right? But now your dad's a lead pastor. Yeah. But has he always been a lead pastor? No. So what does that feel like? What's the difference in that?
Insanity. Yeah. So for the people that don't know, so my dad, his 2 older brothers are pastors. Mm-hmm. His dad was obviously a pastor. My grandmother was the mother of the church. So like he grew up in church, but he was just the one that he was just a little bit different. He was young, he was considerably younger than all his siblings. And everyone just knew he wasn't going to be a pastor. He even said he didn't want to be a pastor. He asked my grandmother, Mom, do you think I'd be a pastor one day? She said no. No one ever thought he wasn't. We weren't like, we went to church, we grew up in church, but like he wasn't even like a deacon or nothing. We just went. And so a lot of stuff happened, and he ended up coming back to our home church. And my uncle heard from God that, like, my dad succeeded my uncle. He heard from God that, my dad will be succeeding him. So that was like,
wow.
He wasn't even.
I'm like, what did the word say? That's what.
So it's been. I'm used to being the pastor's granddaughter and the pastor's niece. I'm not. Pastor's daughter is a whole.
It's a whole nother burden.
Yeah.
But it's, they say it's a nice, it goes.
Sorry. It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not bad. And, I think my parents would always say things like, y'all, what's the problem? They're like, what's so wrong with it? And like growing up, because my dad's been pastor. I thought he was the lead pastor my whole life, but I guess he became the lead pastor when I was maybe in elementary school at some point, but he wasn't always. But when he did become it,
right.
I didn't really let it get on me. I was like, that's his job. That's not me. You have nothing. Like, you don't meet a lawyer's daughter and be like, well, you're a lawyer's daughter, so nobody knows.
Pastoring is a whole different animal. It's like we hear, for some reason, when your dad is called, then your mom is called. If your mom is called, everyone else is called. It's like, I didn't answer the phone. But it's not horrible. Again, his 1-year anniversary is July 6th.
Wow.
I'm so proud of him.
Congratulations.
It hasn't been horrible, but you've been a really good resource. Like, if I didn't have you, and you're even like Rayma and Risa, like, they've been really good at just like talking to me about what's going on, because I don't know if I could do it without y'all.
Yeah. Because I think
y'all are real.
One of the biggest parts is the eyes on you. Like, that's the part that makes it like, ooh, like, I don't know if I want to do this, but you can't not do it.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can't. We got a word from this pastor a couple weeks ago and for our sibling group. And basically she said to somebody, she's like, I don't know who I'm talking to, but you can't divorce your family. Ooh. I was like,
that was
whoops. No, literally. I was like, oh, shoot. Because you literally can't leave it. It's not like there's anywhere you can go. Because, when people are watching your life, do you feel like that makes you want to live better? Or how does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's like a lot of pressure. And again, like, I feel like it's different for you. You grew up in this. Yeah. You was a kid. I'm 24. So he became pastor when I was 23. So it's like kind of different because it's like, I'm already grown. Look, I'm already grown. I got my rebellious phase. That's kind of behind me. So I'm glad that wasn't in the spotlight. But to a certain extent, people are still looking in terms of like my relationship and stuff like that. My dad also makes comments a lot about marriage and kids. And I'm like, just preach the word. But it's not. I think it's also different when you're an adult preacher's kid. I don't really feel like an adult, but I'm technically an adult. An adult preacher's kid, I think that's definitely different, and that's why I really feel for you and your siblings. It's like,
I mean, yeah, but like I always think too, in my sibling group of 7, I'm still always like, well, I'm the only one that complains. I think, and I don't really complain. I just feel it. Like
someone, the middle child.
Yes.
So y'all are different.
I'm feeling it on both sides. Like I was in high school one time, and someone sent an anonymous letter in the mail to all the staff about how my shorts were short.
That's insane. I'm so sorry. That's crazy.
Like, doesn't happen to the regular Joe.
That's crazy. That's insane. If you're gonna do that, at least sign your name. Don't come on. Not if you
anonymous. Like, they printed 10 copies. They put in a copy and they said 10.
I wonder who it is. I wonder if they still
I know. If you're out there, I know. I saw you.
We're coming for you.
But yeah, that's crazy. Would you say you're the oldest, right?
Yes.
So does that come with a different level of responsibility, like growing up?
Yeah, oh my God, what?
What do you feel like is the biggest part about being older? The older one.
You gotta be an example. You gotta, one, look out for your siblings, and 2, I'm the example. I always heard growing up, okay, you're the example. Be the example for your siblings. Like, that's a heavy burden. But now that I'm older, I don't mind it as much because it's just like, okay, like I assume they look up to me. I don't know if I did a good job, but it's a lot. And then just feeling like, and my parents never made me feel like I was a third parent, but it's just, I'm also very type A, so I kind of took on that role on my own. It's not like my parents made me raise them, but I kind of feel like mom and dad just comes on you. Yeah, mom and dad aren't around, so it's my turn.
Did your siblings ever call you mom?
God, no. No, they know better. They know better than that.
Yeah, you guys are not that far apart in age. What would you say is your biggest role right now in the church? Like, what are you doing to help the church grow?
Let me fix my face. So, I am the head of our church's BCF, but that's a Christian Fellowship in Philadelphia. Okay. I'm the head of BCF News. So, it's our announcements. and I make the flyers. I make 90 to 95% of the flyers. I know if my dad watches this, he's gonna laugh. I do, and I do the voiceover for them. So every Saturday morning or evening, sometimes I'm a little late, I get all the announcements together. I write out a script. I used to have my mom write the script, but she's first lady now, so whenever I write out the script and I record the announcements, sometimes I have to do it like 10 times. It just doesn't sound quite right. So that's my biggest thing. And honestly, it's like a lot of pressure sometimes. It's like, because I want it to sound good.
Yeah. I'm sure it sounds great because you have one of those voices.
I hope so. And that's what people, every time they play it, we've been playing it since my dad became pastor.
Can you give us a snippet of that sounds?
Oh my God. This is horrible.
I want you to tell the people that today after service is the new members class here at BCF.
Mortifying for me. Because I don't usually do this. I do this on my phone, but like something like, today after service, BCF will be meeting in the multi-purpose room for the new members class. Like something like that.
Hey,
it's so robotic.
So do you put your phone, this is such a random question, but do you put your phone down when you're doing it or do you hold it?
I usually hold it, but sometimes you can like hear my breath. So I just have to figure it out. And then someone gave me a tip, like do it like in a closet or like an enclosed room because it like sound rounds out. So I do it in my grandma's closet.
Wow.
Yeah, I do it in my grandma's closet. So
that's so interesting.
Something I've been doing that I kind of can't.
So you're really the creative director.
Oh, I don't know if I would call it that. I don't think I'm that creative.
I mean, but you're doing all the creative jobs.
Kind
of. The graphics, the flyers. Yeah. And then you're doing the
really
voice
not my over. I thought it wasn't my ministry, but it could have been.
What do you feel like your ministry is? If you had one.
I don't even know, girl. This is what I'm trying to figure out. Because I also serve on the hospitality team.
Okay, you are hospitable.
Second Sundays, come see me. I'm at the door. Love it. Because my dad was like, you gotta do something. You gotta do something. So those are the two main things I do. But I don't really know. And then my mom has a ministry, Sisters in Christ, that they meet every second Saturday. She does her little lessons and things. Mm-hmm. She made a comment the other week, like, you're gonna do a lesson one day.
Okay,
lesson. What do I teach you?
You got a story, honey.
I don't know. So I do sermon. My family is like blessed with the talent. We can all speak. Mm-hmm. We're very good public speakers. Mm-hmm. Like,
yes.
So maybe that, I don't know. But right now, I'm cool with the graphics. I was working with the kids. It got to be too much. I said no. And I love kids, but it is.
Wait, so how do you feel? Because I don't think, you're doing a really great job, I want you to know. Because when I grew up, I did not find my role. I was like, y'all got that. Yeah. People work here, you know what I mean? Like, it's not my job. I was just kind of a kid existing in the church, kind of saying, like, oh, I don't want to go to children's church today. I'm going to watch the sermon upstairs. Yeah. Those are the types of things I thought about when going to church, but not like, oh, is the sound right? Is that video right? Like, I let my parents do that. So, like, do you feel like it's a lot for you, or do you enjoy it?
Realistically, no, it's not a lot. I need to stop being lazy. Because it's not. And because I feel like my dad is taking our church into a new direction as well. Just like we don't really have that many millennials or Gen Zers, and that's what he's trying to grow. So I think he needs people my age to like, we're going to do something different. Because, my uncle that retired, he's 70. My dad's 52. So that's that's a whole different generation. So my dad just has a new vision that I think I'm helping kind of
push along.
And I kind of like it. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I kind of just like, if I don't do BCF News, I'm just going to do it. Much. Like my sister does the voiceover sometimes, but
I would love to hear her.
She does a really good job. And my sister's very like one note, but she does a very good job. She'll do them sometimes, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it because again, I know like this is God's ministry at the end of the day. So in my mind, I'm like, this is what I'm doing to help the church because it's smaller in the kingdom. So
that's really
I need
good.
to stop complaining because I do be complaining sometimes. I need to stop. So you just clock my TA.
Oh no, I'm clocking my own tea. Because I'm like, I work here now, so it's like different. Yeah. But I don't think, before I started working here, I would see things because I'm an adult now, and I had a job. So it was like, oh, this isn't right. Oh, y'all need to be doing this. But I didn't have that eye as a kid.
And that's why I used to complain about how things weren't right. It's just like, well, then do something to change it. And like, we have one staff member at the church. It's still like kind of small. We don't really have staff. Like, this is volunteer.
Yes, the Lord's work.
This is volunteer.
You're a soldier for the Lord.
I'm serving. Okay, so it's cool because I know it makes my dad happy, and again, I know if I don't do it, then it's just not gonna get done. And I don't. He does the sermons. He be working hard. That's the least I could do is a 1 minute video of the news. Like,
wow, you're doing a great. I just have to reiterate that because it's not every day, which is crazy. It's really not every day that you see a PK not bitter about where they are. Because I think either they get bitter and they leave. That's really the other option. There's really no other option. Someone put, one of our former singers here posted the other day that like if everybody's meant to be like on a big platform, who's gonna serve in the local church?
But it's true. Everyone's the
I was like,
and my dad says all the time, y'all think y'all want to be up here preaching? He was like, no, you don't. And he still works.
He's like, I didn't want.
He still works his corporate job. Like he's still working. He comes home from work 40 hours a week and does his sermons. Saturdays he doesn't leave the house. And so that he's like, y'all think y'all want to get up here and preach? No, you don't. No, you don't. So I'm kind of fine doing the behind the scenes stuff. It takes a village to build up the church, and that's why when I was reading, I forgot what the Bible was.
You better read the Bible,
but just about spiritual gifts and stuff like that. And it's just like not everything is preaching and teaching. There are so many other gifts that serve it. Like it's just so many other things we don't think about that are pivotal to the church.
Exactly.
So I'm okay taking on those roles.
Yeah, and that was one of the things. Like when I started speaking, or like my dad's like, "Oh, you're gonna do your trial sermon and all that." I kind of was nervous. I know I'm a good speaker, but I don't want to do it for the wrong reasons ever. You know, when people are like, "Oh yeah, you know the platform." I don't care. It even took me a long time to start this because I don't want to do it because I want to get a lot of followers or you know. I like hearing people's stories. I like asking people like you know what their life is like. It's not about me. And I think that's another reason I had it. Well, I still have the Rhoyal Lyric Show platform, but I even felt weird about that because I was like, I don't know if my name should be it, but like I have a really cool name, so like it's easy to use for branding. But yeah, I think so many people, if they don't learn that the lesson of humility early on, it can get real crazy. Did you see Sinners?
Yes, I did.
I love it. I love Sinners. I'm sorry.
I know that was problematic for some people.
I know.
Sinners,
but as soon as my dad saw it and he said it's his new favorite movie, I was like, anyone.
It was my dad. He never saw it, but he mentioned seeing it, and I was like, "You're allowed to watch that."
My dad
was like, "I thought it was about vampires," and I was like, "Yeah, it is." So
yeah,
that's why. And he still hasn't seen it, but I almost looked at him as like my moral, like, moral compass. Can I go? And it was it was so. And I knew your dad would like it because he's.
Oh my gosh! Exactly.
Militant. I love it. It was such a good movie.
It was.
It was so many good lessons in it. I'm like, yo, I gotta stop getting stuck on the sinners. We're all sinners.
Yeah. So no, literally. I loved it. I love that movie. And in that movie, it was such a good representation of really Christians and how they go, or like either church people or church babies or not, or how they be maybe in a church at first and then they leave it. So do you feel like if... So say you're a preacher boy, which you're a preacher girl, technically. Because preacher boy didn't preach.
Okay, I was about to
but his dad would be like, say this scripture, you know. Because in the beginning of the movie, he asked his son to like, what did he ask him to say a verse or something like that? And so he was like saying it like, and then throughout the movie, he like was in the world and trying to, you know, he came back, all the things. If you didn't see it, sorry, I spoiled it. But do you feel like if someone was like, I will get you on CNN News today, you leave that church? You wouldn't leave? Okay. Like, you know what I mean, though?
I get what you mean. I feel like, I don't know, my like frontal lobe is starting to develop a lot more. We just see just worldly things. I love the church. I'm not the church. I do like it. And I think it's partially because I like my church so much. I might have a different answer if I didn't like my church. I really love my church. And I love having my dad as my pastor, which a lot of people probably would not say.
Yeah. So that's so funny. I used to say the same thing. I would be like, in college, this is crazy. This is probably an excuse too. But in college for 4 years, I did not go to church. I went my freshman year.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. It's funny fact because I was in North Carolina, so I wasn't home. Okay. That was one. Also, my uncle's church, who I ended up going to every once in a blue moon, it was all the way in another city, which was like an hour and a half away. He had to come pick me up. I didn't have a car. And then I didn't have a car up until my senior year for real. Okay. But there was this one group that used to come on our campus, and there were a bunch of wonderful people. And they would be like, okay, come to our house for this bonfire. It was like a lot of, you know, youth group type of events and stuff. And I was like, this is kind of weird. I feel like y'all are white savior a little bit. Yeah. So I moved on from that. Yeah. And then there was a church called Fellowship Church. It was good and everything. The people was falling out. I wasn't used to that. So I was like, And then I tried to join this one last church. And I remember this guy, the pastor would do the new members class. Okay. But it was just in a circle of people in a room. It was very different than church. But it was like one of those ARC churches. Yes. And he asked the members, like, how did you find out about us? Or, like, what do you like about da-da-da-da? And he was like, what do you like about church? Like, why do you come to church? And I was like, honestly, I just like my dad's church. Yeah, it be like that sometimes. I didn't go back.
It be like that sometimes. Like, your dad has a great
Yeah, I was like, I love his preaching. Nobody preaches like him. But I think another thing for me these days is the fact that like you see a lot of pastors preaching, and it might be good, but nowadays it's like I don't know your lifestyle though, and I'm concerned.
And a lot of them are very good actors.
You know,
they're very good actors.
I don't want to go to somebody's church and be like, oh yeah, I love this church, but I don't know your lifestyle, and I don't know if you're integral, and I don't know if maybe you know your wife somewhere. Like, and that's a scary. So I always thank God for like the fact that I grew up in the family I did, because I didn't have to. Which is like a mind blowing thing to realize. Like, thank God, on my knees crying, thank you, Lord, because if I didn't grow up in church, who knows if I would be in church? Yeah. Like, do you feel like if you didn't grow up in church around all them shepherds, would you
it might be a different story.
In church.
It might be a different story. Honestly, I don't. Because I'm trying to think college. I'm like, okay, technically, because I lived on campus for not even a full year before COVID hit. Mm-hmm. So I didn't go to church then. And then after that, I moved back home. Mm. So I feel like, if I wasn't living home with my parents, where it's like, you either go to church or you're homeless. Like, you don't live here. Which I respect. I do respect that. Yeah. I don't know if I would have gone to church. Yeah. But it's hard because, again, we were born into this. So exactly. I can't imagine a life
without it. I literally be thinking about people because it helps me have grace for people when they are so, worldly or whatever the case may be. Because I'm like, you just didn't grow up the same way as me. So I really can't say anything about your lifestyle. That's why I told you not to judge. Because you just don't know what that person's going through. But if they had the same upbringing, they might be able to come back to God.
It's easier said than done. And it's not even like we grew up in church. Our family was pivotal to the church. Like, it's so different. We didn't just grow up. We was in the church, like, forefront, up front. So I think it's different. But and that's not a life I really want to imagine.
I know.
It's not.
Just being grown up in church and, like, seeing churches and seeing how they run, what do you feel like are 3 things that you feel like makes a good church? Because I feel like you analyze. Like, when you come to celebration, you're like, I like this. Oh my God, I'm like, what? Like, what did you see?
Celebration is my move for me every single time.
Like, good, what do you notice?
Sound biblical preaching. Do not get up there and not quote not one scripture.
Do people do that? Scriptures. I really never seen that.
The word of God. Why are you just up there talking?
I'm like, yo, when people do that, I'm like, how do you do that?
It's a motivational speech. Give me the word. I don't like that. So that's one thing that I'm like, okay. Honestly, how your members act. To me, that's a direct reflection of you, the pastor, and also God. How do your members treat people they don't know? Are they looking at them crazy? Do you speak to visitors? Because people here, and when I come there, they be having me up front with them. And I'm like, oh, that's awkward. They don't know. They be giving hugs. They're just so how your members act. I think it's also a direct reflection of Christ. Because why are you looking at me crazy because you don't recognize me?
They're like, I'm a member.
Yes, and I would say the people in my church are very friendly. And the third thing, I can't say the music because I don't know. Sometimes music just don't.
I don't mind.
I don't think you can judge a church based on this music.
Yeah, I don't mind the singers if they look like they're passionate about what they're doing. Yeah, they're receiving all the gods.
I can't judge based on that, but I don't know a third thing.
So friendly members and a good word.
And a good word. Those for me are like 2 very. And also the third one, which again some churches are working on, but like outreach. Are you only doing things in the church? Are you like doing evangelism? Are you doing events for the community? Are you reaching? If you only do church fish fries and stuff, how are we reaching the community? Like, no shade to the church fish fries, no shade. But like,
pass them out.
Yeah,
feed the 5,000.
Yeah, but like, are you reaching the community? Are you talking to the community? Are you reaching other people? I think those are 3.
Those are good. When you were talking about the preaching and stuff, a lot of things I've been hearing about now have been, and I keep on going on social. I'll be like, I'm gonna get off of here. Literally this morning, I was like, yo, if I see another YouTube clip of somebody talking about somebody else, I'm gonna
it's like messy.
I'm gonna cry because all they're talking about right now is how Jackie Hill Perry. Did you hear about that? Jackie Hill Perry and then Tiffany so and so and Eric Mason. And all that kind of every time I hear Eric Mason, I'm thinking Philly because that's where he's located, right? Yeah. And apparently he talked about so and so on stage and said all this crazy stuff. I'm like, but everyone's saying of those 3, which I haven't done my research. I did enough last night, 5 minutes, and it basically seems like everybody's like, well, in the Bible they call people out or whatever, and like, Paul called so and so out and was da 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 da. I'm like,
on a pulpit being live streamed for people to replay over. Like it's just different.
It's different.
It's just different, and I haven't really looked either because honestly I don't really care.
Yeah,
but like what I'm hearing sounds like mess.
Yeah,
sounds like mess. After y'all to be in the church, it's just not a good look because it gives people more amnesia. If they're Christians and they're acting like that,
exactly. It's just messy. I'm like, yo, I can't. And another thing, because there's a lot of, I have a really big issue sometimes, well, most of the time, with like Christian influencers who like, it just seems like they're like judging people with such harsh, I don't know the word, harsh teaching. Like they're like, if you don't da 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 da, you should be doing that. Like I don't understand how people don't do this. And I think that's where I'm like, that's why I think about people that didn't grow up like me. I really can't say anything about
to give them grace. Some people, especially what I've been noticing, is about like what people wear. Well, I used to dress like that, and now I don't anymore because I'm saving to live. Okay. Some people don't know proper church attire, and that's why you have to. Hey, by the way, here.
Okay, what would you say is proper church attire?
To me, because I also think it's gotten a lot more lax. It's gotten a lot more lax. To me, I just think anything that is modest, anything I would wear this to church. It might be a little form fit, but I have a body. So what? But I think just anything that's fully covered up. You don't want this out. You don't nothing too short. I don't think God is worried about that.
Yeah, I'm like, where's the love? One, where's the love? Two, I'm like, God is probably like, y'all are missing the point.
About the wrong things, because some people still believe like no pants, no jeans. As long as you get in the church house, it's different if someone is repeatedly you send something to them and you're just trying to be a Jezebel. That's different. But if not, I just feel like you're worried about the wrong thing. Yeah, and God knows people's hearts, so I don't. Yeah, if He corrects you, then proceed accordingly. But I don't like that.
I don't understand it honestly. So because the media can get real crazy. I think that's what some of the things that kind of bog me down, give me anxiety. Like I'll be thinking too much about what other people are doing. It's like I need to worry about myself. I have a lot to work on currently. So I don't have time for that. What would you say is one thing that's kind of anchoring you right now? Like something that's keeping you grounded and like, yes, like this is what I need to get me through.
Yeah, that sounds so churchy. And I'm like,
it's not churchy. That's real life.
I was never like this. Like, I feel like,
when did you change?
Oh no, in the past year or so. But I get it now. I have to pray about everything. Literally pray about. And my dad last week, one of his points in his sermons was like, pray without ceasing. Prayer. And I don't. It's not even like I'm on my knees. Like I'm in the car, like God, please help me not to crash out. Like please. It's just I really have to talk to God about everything. Even just if I lose my charger, God, please help me about my charger. And if I have my charger, I have to pray because if not, if I don't talk to God, I'm gonna lose my mind. And I get that. And I used to think the old sayings. I'm like, I'm doing way too much. I get it.
When I met Kennedy, she was like, the word, way better than me in terms of just like you're positive. And like you just seem so connected to God in a way that I wasn't at your age. I just got here. Like I grew up doing whatever I wanted. I used to make the joke that I was gonna latch onto my grandfather's ankle. All that. Like I was not on this journey probably until like really got on the journey and knew God for myself at like 25. Okay. Like that's when I was like, oh okay, like let me read my Bible.
I'm almost there.
I wasn't even reading my Bible. I would delete the app sometimes if I didn't have enough space in my phone.
Bible.
No, like real life. Like, did you grow up like that? Like, how did you get here in terms of your spirituality?
I don't even know, and it's still a journey because every day it's still a journey. I don't know. I remember I got saved shortly after my grandfather died, my dad's dad. I think I was like 8 or 9. I do remember this is the first time I decided to make the decision, but it has not been smooth sailing since there. It was I guess I was kind of cool. High school, I was a very conservative Caucasian high school, so that was a little traumatizing for me. And I didn't really do nothing. I was just kind of like doing maybe had chapel every week, like I was still in the word church every Sunday, but I still don't think I really had like a deep connection. College, way back. I wasn't like wilding, but it was just like, no, I'm doing things I'm not supposed to be doing. And I know I'm not supposed to be doing them, but I don't know. But eventually, COVID was a turning point. COVID was such a turning point for me where I was just like, I got real serious. I don't even know what it was. Either I got real serious, but I also was just in the house all the time. So I kind of had like no choice between my Bible. I still would have been doing other things, but I feel like that's when the first time I really like heard from God. I feel like I was on fire for God at that point. Went back to college after COVID dropped and everything, and honestly, I feel like it's been fairly recently that I feel like I'm like at this point, which I think is directly tied to my dad becoming pastor, because again, he was like the last person anyone expected to become a pastor. So I think seeing his journey and seeing like, wow, God can change whoever. It doesn't matter what you've done. Like it's kind of inspired me, but it's every day is still a journey. Yeah. It's still a journey. Sometimes even recently, like I don't feel that close to God. I don't. But again, talking to my dad has made me realize like you can't. Trusting God can't be dependent on your emotions and your feelings. It just can't. It's literally just you gotta praise Him. You gotta praise Him regardless of how you feel. And I know that in this season of my life with losing my grandmother, that was in November, losing my grandmother in November, and then losing my uncle in January.
Yeah. I mean, I was like feeling for you from Maryland. Like, what is happening in this life?
And seeing my dad, he's going to get up every single Sunday after losing his mom and losing his brother suddenly and encourage other people and preach the word. So I'm like, okay, if he can do all that, I got to get it together. Yeah. So just like his mindset has really inspired me. But it's still a journey. I'm not like this every day. And there's sometimes I feel very far from God. But I know He's with me. I definitely know He's with me. So I think for me right now, it's just like trying to learn to just have faith regardless of how I feel. Even if I feel like it's not answering me. He does.
I'm like staring because I'm just listening. Yeah. I'm taking it in because I really need that word right now.
Yeah, it's just, but it's not easy.
I mean, thinking about like love and how relationships work, it's really not about feelings most of the time. And I am a La La Land fantasy girl. I live in the fantasy. I love love. I love surprise. I love feeling good. When I don't feel good, I'm like, God, do you hate me? No. Like, are we
dramatic? So dramatic.
I didn't do anything to be deserving this.
That's me. But I gotta realize, because I didn't see it right now. I feel like God has been kind of silent. And I'm like, hello? Like, and I said to my dad, like, I feel like God is not listening to me. He was like, that's a lie.
Yeah. And I will say to like I'm letting you say something, and then I'm just like that's how I feel, because I sat on the ground the other day, like knees to the ground, like, all right, Lord, what do you want to say?
Yeah. That was me last week at the bathroom, and I heard nothing.
Yo, and it makes me mad a little bit because I keep seeing. That's why I have to get off my phone. Because you see people,
God is speaking to them verbally.
Or is He though? Because if He's not speaking to me that much, that way.
Like, what do you mean He's telling you exactly what you need to do, when you're going to do it? Come.
I'll be like.
But that can be very discouraging, because it's like, that was literally me. I was sitting in my backyard like, okay, I'm silencing the noise.
Yeah.
Nothing. I also was not out there for that long.
Yeah. Like, no. I might sit for like 3 minutes.
No, literally. And I was like, all right, I tried.
So like these people have the bandwidth to sit longer than me, but like it's just not fair. I think like one thing that I'm realizing or trying to realize, maybe God's been speaking to me. I don't know. I've been hearing from myself, reading the word. I be reading songs. But one thing is that I don't know how much Jesus walked around like telling everybody this is what you need to be doing, or you're gonna like suck. Like you need to be doing this. I've been hearing from God so much. Like I'm God's son. Like do you see how really close I am with Him? Like I'm so close with God. He didn't do that. So I'm trying to figure out where the personal relationship comes in when people consistently like it's like how I probably was. Shout out Christian. Yeah. When we first started dating, I was mad. What's the word? Pressed about like whether or not he was gonna post me. People were asking me, when is he gonna post? But like people are like, so when is he gonna post you? Yeah. Like what? And it's like we have a personal relationship. Yes. You know what I mean?
You don't need other people to see that for it to be valid.
Yo, it's a revelation.
We need to preach. This is a dangerous duo right here.
No, because like people love to tell you. So me and God today, we were just chatting and
you know, like, did He want you to tell me?
You know, I think Paul was one of the main people that was like, you know, I'm afflicted and like, you know, I sin, I don't want to. Was that Paul? Right? I sin, I don't want to. All the things. I think he's like the rogue dude. But then like there's Peter, but I don't know if it's him. Either way, you see how bad it is. But either way, I'm like, no, like either David was crying out to God saying, help me, and God's letting us see that. Yeah. But parading around and being like, my relationship got so good. Like, I feel like we should help people learn how to get closer to God, but not to like brag about
or
our
make me
relationship.
Feel bad. Like, well, I'm really close with God. Like, because it makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like I'm not doing something right.
Yeah, I literally said to God today, am I not doing something that someone else is doing to hear from you? It's not like I'm like, I don't need anything, but I do.
Know. Like, I just want to, this is so therapeutic.
I'm like, am I doing?
But God, I think is speaking to us right now through each other. I do. He's just like, I'm gonna just get these two girls together so they can realize. Because the fact that we're feeling the same way. And it's crazy hearing that from you because you're somebody I really look up to spiritually.
But you did say I haven't been posting.
You haven't yet. And I feel like, what do we do? You're someone I really look up to. Like, and I was just telling my dad about that too. I was crying to him because I was like, it's just so hard to be young and saved. It's just, I just can't. It is so hard. Like, you need to surround yourself with other young, like, white people. And I was like, that's why I'm just so thankful for Rhoyal. Like, I just really, because this is the first time I've seen her. Like, we're like,
yeah, we gotta call each other more. I know. Because it is so hard. I think, you know.
But you've been a really good... Keep doing what you're doing, because I'll just say for me personally, you've been a really... Just seeing what you do. And you always seem so positive and just like...
gosh.
You're just real encouraging. Like, I'm like, I got... And sometimes I even find myself, like, comparing myself to you, like, dang, Rhoyal, do it.
Oh, no, please don't.
But hearing that from you, I'm like, oh, okay.
Everybody, like, people are human. People are human, number one. Human beings are human beings.
Yeah.
I think us going through so much struggle is only to get us closer to him.
Yes.
There's no other way.
Yes.
Because if your life was always perfect, how much would you be on your knees? I haven't got on my knees in months.
Yeah.
Until I was like, Lord, all right.
Yeah.
Like, I thought I was still praising you in the midst of my joy. Why can't you just keep... I'm giving you joy, so give me more. Yeah. Like, he's like, no. You're getting too happy, you're forgetting certain things, you know, you're not reading as much. But I think it's so hard to live right. It is. And I'm tired. I don't know if we should have certain, like, Christian influences. I think people should let their lives speak more than they speak. Yes. I don't need to hear your blurb on how you got $1 million today because God loves you so much. I'd rather just see your fruit. Yeah. Like,
because it can be discouraging. I saw on TikTok of a girl that was talking about God gave her $100,000 because she asked. And I was like, what? I need to pay off my student loans. Like, what? And I didn't even listen. It had something to do with, like, a lawsuit, and she, like, got a settlement or something. But, like, what do you mean God gave you $100,000 because you asked? I've been asked.
What does that mean?
So I scrolled past, because I was like, I can't compare myself to other people. And I actually didn't stay to listen to what God she was talking about. Because I hear you say the words Jesus Christ. I don't know what God you're talking.
No, I literally get mad a lot and I scroll. Yeah. I'm like, nah, this can't be. This can't be right. I can't. Because, like, I saw something. What was it? I tried to support B. Simone. Shout out. I tried so hard. Because I'm like, you know, she's somebody who's trying. She is. You know, she's trying. Yeah. But when I did try to listen to her, because I'm like, I can pray for you, but I want to hear it sometimes. She's funny. Yeah. So I tried to watch a little clip. She was talking to some guy. Mm-hmm. And the first thing she said was like, oh, yeah, I saw you on something. And, like, we're not going to talk about the fact that you have a girlfriend because you are fine. What?
Okay, sis.
I was like, no. Stop. No. What are you doing? What are we doing? And it stresses me out. It gives me anxiety. I'm like, why can't people just live their lives and stop talking? Yeah. It's like,
everyone needs to talk all the time.
We don't need to know, because I just think it's not helpful.
It's not at all.
When you live your life so simply, quote unquote, because, like, you know, people have their own convictions. Mm-hmm. But when people live their life so simply, so publicly, it can be, to me. I'm speaking. This is like, I'm having a conversation with you, but this is pretty personal. Yeah. But, like, when people live their life so simply, publicly, and they're Christian. Yeah. It's, even if you don't think those sins are convicting to you, you posting about them makes me feel like I can, so this is fine? Oh,
and that's what freaks me out, because I never want to give people the wrong impression. Like, oh, she go to church her day as a pastor and she be doing that. No.
You know?
No.
So, social media.
It's just a really scary place, especially when you realize that some people actually think it's serious. Yeah. When they think it's real life. Like, oh.
When we started putting God, because I'm so excited for the revival. You know, people are saying, you know, God's in so many areas of life. Yeah. Everybody's hearing about him. You know, so many ways to get him to people. All that. I think that's all good. Mm-hmm. But we're putting him in such weird places.
Yes. Yeah.
We're like, it's just, I don't know, it's stressful. I don't even know how it got to this point.
I don't know either.
But it's as a PK and as someone who I feel like is like-minded, I don't meet a lot of people like-minded as me. Yeah. I meet a lot of people who are trying to get there. Yeah. But to be like-minded and to be struggling and to be loving God at the same time. Literally.
I think more people need to acknowledge the fact that they're struggling. A lot of people don't acknowledge that I'm struggling. I haven't been hearing from God, y'all. There, I said it. There, I said it. I haven't been hearing from God, and I'm not happy. But I'm going to still pray. I'm going to still read my Bible. I'm going to still, give him glory, even though sometimes I don't be feeling like it. I'm discouraged, but I don't think people talk about that enough.
They don't.
Don't talk about it.
You're supposed to boast in your weaknesses.
Yes, I'm boasting. I'm boasting.
It says that so that he can be strong. Yes. And I think that's another thing that's really the main reason why it's so discouraging to see people being so positive about how they're being blessed online, because so many people are going through so much. Yes. And I think, mourning with those who mourn really isn't a thing. People love to rejoice with those who rejoice, and they want you to rejoice with those who rejoice. Yes. But mourning with those who mourn is probably the harder part of it.
Especially when your life is good, because it's like, oh, sorry. Your life sucks, mine doesn't. Like, wow.
When you're, when both of your family members that recently passed, when I first heard about it, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even want to text her because I know there's a lot of people probably trying to hit her up and stuff like that. Yeah. But I would just send a text and be like, I'm thinking about you, I love you, and I just want to be in it with you. Yes. I don't want you to think you're alone.
Yes. And that meant the world. Because you were like, I was going to call you. I was like, you could have called me.
I know. It's like, I don't want to get someone more down than they already are. But I do think people have to be able to find out who they can express how they're feeling to. Because everybody don't have a therapist.
And mental health that's something I'm so passionate about. It's just like mental health and wellness. And those people that are like, you gotta pray away. I don't agree. Sometimes you need prayer and resources. Talk, which is so cool. So sometimes you just need a little bit more than just God. I think sends therapists and social workers and things like that. It's like for a reason. Just because sometimes you need a little bit more support.
Yeah. Do you feel like you found any nuggets of wisdom within like your grief, like going through all that, or are you still kind of in it?
That both. I think that God is still good regardless of what happens. And that, his ways are not our ways. We don't understand why. Because at the end of my grandmother's life, she went blind. She had been able to see for 91 years, had a surgery blind. Why, God? Yeah. She was like the holiest person ever. Why would you take away her eyesight? So understanding that, just because we don't understand something doesn't mean that it don't make sense to him. And then with my uncle, it was a very sudden passing. And just things happen for a reason. But also my perspective on death has changed. And it's just they were both saved. And how my dad puts it is that if they had the chance to come back, they would not. Heaven is probably just so much greater. Even if as much as we miss them, they wouldn't want to come back.
That's a word.
Yeah. So that brings me comfort when I'm thinking about that, because I know they were both saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost. So I don't have to even question whether where are they? I know where they're at in the presence of God. So just finding peace with that. Just finding death. Also what my dad says is death for Christians is not the end; it's the beginning.
Yeah, that's good. Because I don't even think I've had that understanding. I know they're in a better place. People say that all the time. But to know that they wouldn't even come back. Not that God's not gonna bring them back. No. They wouldn't want to.
It's so much better wherever they are up there. I don't know what direction happens. It doesn't matter. But they wouldn't want to come back even if they have the choice to. So that makes me feel a lot. It gives me peace and it gives me comfort. And just the blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. That verse has really. I get that now a lot more. Being in that grief. So and just that family is important as well too, because you were the first time I met you. We came down here because my uncle was speaking here. He's the reason. I know. He's part of the reason we even connected.
I know, and I remember telling that story about how. That's all I'll always think about when I think about him. Because he preached a word. Yeah. When I tell you, I've never wanted to tell the pastor how good, it was when the chef makes food in the restaurant, and he'd be like, go tell the chef. He was killing. Or the chef will come out and be like, oh, how'd you enjoy the food? Man, cook compliments to the chef type stuff. Yeah. I don't feel a compliment to the chef anointing after many sermons by strangers to me. Yeah. When that man, I was so in awe of the message.
This is so
this is probably one of the most embarrassing stories. No. Embarrassing, because he walked off the stage. It was like I was his. Who were the people that helped the people off the stage?
I don't even know what they are. Are they owlbearers?
Maybe. I wasn't even that person, but I was walking toward the steps.
You were ready to serve.
As he came off, he came down. Yeah. I tried to give him a hug and tell him great word. He looked at me like, girl.
He was not.
He was like, oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah. Yo, I was like, oh. Yeah,
no. That's just how he was. It wasn't like it was just like you were a stranger. He just was not super affectionate at all.
Oh my gosh.
At all. But he showed his love and he was such a great person just to talk to. But it's the fact that we met because I was coming to see him and your parents invited all of us to come back to the house. And that's how we started chopping it up. It was like, wow.
It's crazy how things come together. I would have never could have never asked for a better connection. And I think even with my grandfather's passing is what kind of brought all these Church of God people to the surface.
Because I didn't find out my uncles were at his service. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I met your other one.
Yes.
Horace?
Yes.
Yeah, I met him before, and his word was good too. I remember he preached about the little kids who was bullying that man. Yeah. There was Elijah in the Bible, and then they got attacked by beasts. Yeah. I referenced that a lot. My first sermon, my trial sermon, I referenced that story because I'm like, oh, God really get your get back.
Okay, vengeance is look, I'm minding my business. But yeah, me and my dad were just talking about that, and they were like, yeah, they were with his service. And I was like, that's just how everything just came together just for us to be sitting on this couch right now. Look at God. That's how I know God is real. I don't believe in coincidences. I don't. There was no way this is a coincidence. Yeah. Everything had to happen for us to be here on the Rhoyal Lyrics Show.
Listen, I'm always looking for the regular Christians. Yes. Yeah. The people that are, I'm a human being who goes through hard things, and I have God at the center of my life. Yes. Other than that, I'm not going to tell you there's some trick to getting what you want in this life based on how you have. Because I don't think people getting things, some people have favor, and that's a thing, but there's no key to getting $1 million from God. There's no key to getting your dream job. God does things in people's lives when He wants to.
And if He wants to. He's not conditional. He don't just decide. Yeah. You can't do things to get things from God. You just can't. Sorry.
And although it says rejoice with those who rejoice, I don't know where in the Bible where it says tell everybody how good your life is and let them congratulate you. I think you can be excited, but I don't know if the only thing I know about boasting is boasting your weakness.
Yes. Which I am doing.
More of that.
The rest of that stuff.
So as someone who's pretty passionate about you said the things about your church, and then one of them was evangelism. What do you think you would tell someone if you were trying to get them to come to church, but they're ew, I don't do church, I don't do all that, or I grew up in a weird church, I don't really mess with church. What would you tell them to try to get them there?
Because there are some people in my life that I want to get to church that I know just aren't interested. My thing is just give it a try. Give Jesus a try. Just give him a try. And if you really don't, or you're not feeling it, you don't get a word. Because I also believe if I try to encourage someone to come to church, and I'm not even going to try to trick you into to anything.
There's going to be some men there.
Right. No, I don't care about food. Maybe I might get you with food because we do have food. But just give it a try. I think a good trick is not a trick, but the fact that my dad is the pastor. I'm like, well, my dad's speaking, just give it a try. And I firmly believe that God will send a word for them that day that they're there. I don't know. He just always shows up. So just give it a try. And if you're not feeling it, or if you feel like the word wasn't for you, I'm gonna leave you alone. But I think the best way I can go about it is also just how I live. I gotta look at the fruit. I gotta live right. So it's not even anything crazy. Because I know if you do too much, it turns people off even more. So, and I've invited some of my friends to come to church. I'm trying to get some of my cousins to come too. Just give it a try. Give it a try. I would really love for you to be there with me. I don't think it's that deep. I don't think it's that serious.
That's good.
Well, you get a blessing, and no, I can't guarantee that. But I can guarantee that you're going to get a good word.
Yeah,
that's all.
You're gonna get what you need.
Yeah, come on back. But I don't believe in forcing people to come to church. If you really don't want to come, I'm gonna pray for you.
Yeah, I'll just pray, and I might ask you again. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's so good. I mean, I just like hearing the practicality of life from you, and just hearing, you're going through some hard things right now. Yeah. And you mentioned that your dad's preaching about Job.
Yeah, he was.
And I literally said earlier, I was like, yo, I hate to say it, but my life is looking a little Joby. Nothing too much. Just like, that's triggering.
Yeah, it's getting Joe. It's Joe-ish. It was like right after he preached that sermon, I was like going through it. I was like, God, please. But I think it was good because then I could refer back to like, okay, Joe went through this. He lost all 10 of his kids. He lost that. It's not that. I'm going through some emotional things. Right. So like, I'm not dying. No one around me is currently dying. So like, I'm okay. I'm okay. But
yeah, I think some of the hard love ways that we grew up is like, someone has it harder than you. Like, you better calm down. The other kids in Africa couldn't eat. Like, you say stuff like that to us. And I think that's all valid. Yeah. But I do think what I'm going through is hard for me.
100%.
And I didn't grow up going through this on a regular basis. Yeah. Like, I don't know how to deal with this sometimes.
And people try to, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Try to, like, compare traumas. And it's like, no, you shouldn't do that just because you lost all your limbs at 5. Like, it's okay. Yeah. And that sucks. That really sucks. But, like, you could be going through something hard, too. It doesn't have to be to that extent. Yeah. But I also don't like when people try to compare traumas. Like, well, I don't do this. No, don't do that. Yeah. We're all going through a hard time.
I had a student one time who was like, Miss Davis, because, nowadays mental health is, like, running rampant in the schools, in the kids' lives. Yes. And he was like, what do you go through? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, what mental illnesses do you have?
Ooh.
And it was like everyone has something.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I mean, sometimes y'all shouldn't help him. I'm gonna relate to you. I was like, sometimes I get anxious. Sometimes. And he was like, well, I have anxiety, depression, and I don't like. He was like listing off his mental illnesses or his mental health challenges, and I was like, wow, But that's one of the things I had to get out of the school system because of. Yeah. Because I can't hear you list all those and be like, oh well, have a good day.
All right, go to the next period. Like,
I'm like, would you like to come to my church?
Yeah, like, that's sad. But I also, and I don't know if this is me being overly churchy, sometimes I have a tendency to be, but like, I also don't like saying, like, claiming those things sometimes. Mm-hmm. I think they're valid, but I don't like to say I have anxiety or like I have depression. Yes. I sometimes say like I struggle with that. I don't like to say that I have that because it's not part of my identity.
Yeah, I'm currently experiencing it.
Yeah, I'm currently experiencing some anxious feelings. A few weeks ago I was having a depressive episode. I definitely was having a moment, and I don't like saying because I feel like you're claiming that over your life. I'm depressed.
That's good.
I don't like that. Words, I think, have a lot of power. They have a lot of power. And with him naming all those things, they just don't stick.
Oh no, I've heard some crazy things come from kids' mouths. I heard this one girl tell her friend, if you want to get a therapist, just tell your mom you want to, they don't say, that you want to unalive yourself. Basically. And I was like, that's not what you say. Yeah. Like, because people don't have God in their lives. I think that's just the main squeeze.
Yes.
Like, when you hear people talk like that and speak that over them. So, like, while I'm going through things these days, I'm like, all right, Lord, give me the words to say over myself. Yes. Because right now, like, my brain is not telling it to me. So, I have to, I read Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer. It's like an old book, but it's like one of her most popular books. Okay. And it just has a lot in there about like preaching to yourself good things and like saying,
literally have what you say, like
encourage yourself.
And I was just thinking about that song. Oh my God! And I get it now that I'm older. Now I'm like, sometimes you have to encourage yourself. Sometimes you have to speak victory. You have to. You literally have to.
Because no one else is gonna do it. I mean, unless you tell them you're having a hard time, you're the only one who knows what you're going through, really. Unless you tell, your friends. Yeah. But God and you, y'all gotta get it. Like,
you have to speak life. You have to speak life. Yes.
All right, let's bring it up to a positive note. So we're gonna play the hymn game.
Oh my God! Oh my God! I don't do bad.
I know. No, you're gonna see.
I'm scared. From mental health to hymns.
Yes, hallelujah. Yes, we have to pick it up on the positive note. Yes, not because you over there saying you know hymns.
I know, but now I feel like I'm blanking. Now I'm like, oh shoot, how many hymns?
Okay, here we go. These are good. Okay, your first word is grace.
Okay, wait, real quick. What are we considering hymns?
Because I don't know hymns like that. So hymn or gospel.
Okay, let's go about the gospel.
Let's run it out. Yeah.
Do I have to name the song?
You can name the song, or you can say the lyric, or sing it. You can like singing.
I wish I could. I can't. Grace. I think of blessed and highly favored Clark sisters.
Oh,
it was grace, mercy, grace. At the end.
I don't know that one. You see, these church songs, I don't be knowing them.
Yeah, it was the end. It was grace, mercy.
Okay, I'll verify that fact. The next The next word is holy. I actually know a hymn for this one.
What's the name of that song? I don't know. Is there an actual song?
This is probably one of the only hymnals I know because I remember
this
opening the
book.
book.
I'm thinking of well, that's not a hymn. That's definitely not a hymn. The holy, holy, holy is the Lord God.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think that's.
I don't think it's a hymn. But the one that I was thinking of was holy, holy, holy.
Yes,
they basically remixed that.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Lord God, oh because I used to play the piano, so they made us learn that.
Oh,
and I remember someone opening up the actual.
Mm-hmm.
That's in the actual hymn. See, we know a little bit.
Okay. I can't believe you're having me sing. I can't sing, bro. I can't.
Your next word is cross.
Wait, at the cross.
Mm-hmm.
How does that go?
At the cross. You were probably butchered. Where I first.
Wait, is that it?
Rolled away.
It was there by faith. I see by sight, and now I am happy all the day. Yes.
And they do some hymns, just remix it a little bit.
Yeah.
All right,
here we go. Slow. I'm like,
when? Faith.
Faith. It's not gonna be him for this. It's gonna be us for some faith.
I don't even know.
Faith? Do people talk about faith? I know they do.
They preach about faith.
People love to preach. Sing about faith.
Faith.
That doesn't have faith. I'm literally going through lyrics right now. Now I know faithful is our God. Could be faithful.
Okay, faithful.
Reaping the harvest God promised me.
Yes.
Take back what the devil stole from me.
Listen.
Faith.
And everything.
Sorry to the listening audience. So sorry about that. I know
today. Yo. That's a good one.
See, I can't. If I could sing, I'd be singing every. I can't sing.
Holy.
It's not my ministry. So sorry.
Okay. Savior.
Jesus. Blessed Savior.
Oh, that's a hymn. He's worthy to be praised.
From the rising.
Yes. From the rising of the
sun until the going down.
Until the going down.
I think your dad should. He's worthy. He's worthy. Yes.
Jesus is worthy. That's one of my ones right there.
I love
He's worthy to be.
That's a really good one. Actually, that one has got me through some hard times.
What is another word they say in that?
Glory. Yeah, glory. Glory. In all.
Yes. Give him glory. Jesus. Blessed Savior.
Yeah. You got me singing on here. I can't sing.
You're doing well.
I'm really not. I'm so sorry in advance.
What about these are getting easy. Joy.
Oh, more abundantly. I've come that you might have one more abundantly.
What is that one? That's a hymn?
No, it's not a hymn.
Oh.
You don't know more abundantly?
No.
And at the end, joy.
Oh, I know that part. I know that part, but I don't know. I wait for that part. What? I don't listen to the.
Yeah, y'all hymns. I don't know. We gonna make it just gospel. Hymns be hard.
What about lamb?
This is a hymn. All right, we're just making.
It might not be hymn. Because we did have a few hymns in there though.
Thinking of the lyrics from the mind is "Worthy was the lamb who was slain," but I don't know what song. Worthy was the lamb who was slain. I
don't know that one.
Worthy was the lamb.
I was thinking, now behold the lamb. Yes. The parade.
I'm worthy. No, that's good. I think it's a church. It's on my church sings. Yeah, we definitely sing that at my church, but I don't know.
Do y'all have any church songs that's just y'all's church?
We have a welcome song.
How does it go?
Here at Bethesda, you are welcome. Here at Bethesda, you are love.
Hey!
Here at Bethesda, there's hope and healing for the weak made strong.
I like that.
I don't know if I got that wrong. For the weak made strong.
That's a good song.
Yeah, for the place.
Okay, that's...
Yeah, so for our visitors, side note, I'm calling her out, y'all. Are you coming to my church in a few weeks?
My dad I'm interviewing Kennedy today. He's like, I'm supposed to preach there.
Yeah.
So if I'm in town,
you better, because I want you to hear the song, because I'm going to make you stand up. And I'm doing the welcome that day. So you have to come.
Yeah, you got to text me.
Because I'm going to shout you out.
Okay, I need to be shouted out.
And I want you to hear the song. Yeah. You really got me singing on here. This is
okay, awesome. Last word. Jesus.
We didn't do Jesus already?
We did?
I don't know. Oh, that was Savior. Because I'm thinking Jesus.
I can't do that.
Right. He didn't say Jesus in that song. There was another word I wanted to use. But sorry, we'll do it later.
What word is that? Blood. Okay, what you got for that?
The blood still works.
The blood still works.
That is my jam.
It will never lose its power.
I love that song.
The blood still works.
All right, Jesus.
I feel like there's one that's like a real, we do it a lot.
Why is Praise Him still in my head?
What's the communion song? The blood.
Yes.
That's my song.
That is a good one. I feel like I have another one for Jesus, though. That is a good one, though.
That'd be my song.
I'd be crying.
Jesus.
I'd be crying.
No, that's not the same song.
That's the same. That's what I'm saying. That's the only one that's
not the same song.
There's other songs about Jesus.
There's a lot. You can't think of anything.
When Jesus said yes,
there you go. That's
no.
real new.
When Jesus said yes, nobody can say no. I know there's a hymn though with Jesus.
It's okay.
I failed the hymn test, y'all, but I passed the gospel test. I still love my hymns, but in a way that if I hear them, I know them. But if I'm quizzing them, no.
That is so funny. Yeah, I feel like I listen to a lot of Christian music. That's mostly what I listen to nowadays. But like this morning, I found myself being like, let me turn it on again. Even though I feel like I listen to it every day. Yeah. But when I did, I cried. Yeah. Because I was like, I think God was like, yeah, you need this.
Yes. I have a whole gospel play. Oh, another song, Jesus Brought the Sunshine. I love the chorus.
How does that go? You brought the sunshine.
Yeah.
That's a good song.
I love the chorus.
I've
seen them 3 times.
Oh, well, I've never seen them live.
They're going to be in Philly.
It's sad that the first time I really realized who the Clark sisters were. Well, no, not first realized. When I remember me knowing, like, oh, they're really good.
Yeah.
It was them singing in a sample of a Jay-Z song on 444.
That's my song.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah.
Family Feud. Family Feud.
They were killing that.
I'm rapping Jay-Z's part. That's a real song. That's the first time you realized they were gospel.
No. That's the first time I knew they were gospel and all that, but I never really listened to them, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think Jay-Z loved to sing for my sister. I'm shocked they signed off on that.
Yeah, no.
They love.
And that's another thing we can get into, but I'm not even going to get into that today. But like how like mainstream people use gospel, and gospel people be like, yeah, use me. Because now they're justifying it to say that they're reaching out to the lost. But it's getting, that's another thing. I'm like, I hate the media because it's just getting too crisscrossy. Because with the whole, did you see how
I know what you're about to say.
Glorilla.
I was just having this conversation. Like, she won the gospel award. And honestly,
that's stressful.
I love me some Revolution and Kirk, but Kirk is losing me.
That was
stressful. The lines are a little too mixy now. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that was a lot. I was like, what does this mean? I mean, I wish I do read my Bible, but I wish I read it more so that I could understand. I could verbally say why that's not okay. But I don't really know why. My stomach is doing a lot. Because I'm like, but I wish I could really know why. I can't say for sure, but I just feel like
I think it's on the same tip of just like what you post as a representation. You don't throw people off. It's the same thing with like. Kirk, off like, oh, well, he's clapping gorilla. Cool, and he's a man of God. And it's just like, I'm not passing judgment. I'm not judging.
And I'm actually wondering.
I'm curious because I just think it can throw some people off.
Yeah. I can't look at that too long. Because if I'm like really analyzing that, I'm like, so, but I mean, she even said it in her speech.
Yeah, she knew she was.
She was like, I mean, I can't believe I'm winning this, especially off the stuff I be rapping about. But it's cool. My beautiful spirit.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it gets a little mixy. You can throw people. I don't know if this is a Bible verse, but something that's in my head a lot is like, let not your good be spoken evil of. Like, don't.
Yeah.
His intentions are probably to spread the gospel and reach a new audience, but in the sense, you could throw people off because you can make them feel like, oh, if he's rapping with Will Real, she do this and that, cool. Like,
Yeah, no, it's real. It crisscrosses the lines. But I hate seeing also the other side of it is seeing like this is one guy on TikTok. And every time he's like a clipper of people, what they say, and so he'll play the clip. He'd be like, straight face, can y'all see this? I don't respect this. I'm like, okay, now you're making me sad.
Yeah,
because it's not coming in love.
Yeah, and then the truth in love. People miss that in love part. For some reason, y'all stop right at the truth. Speak the truth.
And then when people like shout out people, like they're like, "This one's for you, B. Simone. You're gonna da da da." I'm like, "Ooh, wait, do you know her?"
And that's what also freaks me out because I saw a post that was talking about like obviously we'll be judged by our works and what we do with our lives, and God's gonna run the tape back, like you did this and that. But people don't understand. You're gonna run to that social media too.
That's a big tape. That's a never going away.
Everything you post, everything person you add, every hate comment you leave, it's already in the file. That's what freaks me out. Because every time sometimes I'm gonna be like, girl, please, you thought you ate that, but I don't. Because I'm like, you know what?
Okay, so to round it out here, what do you feel like is one thing in your life that you're remixing, or something in your life that you feel like you would remix it to make it better? Like you used to be good with this, and then now you're having to and make it into something new.
I think I'm honestly remixing just my perspective on things. I think because it's funny you say I'm really positive. I actually think I'm a very pessimistic person. I'm very pessimistic. Not all the time, but sometimes I always think the worst case scenario, or I see the worst in people's. I'm remixing just my perspective and just like, why do I always go to the worst case when I can go to the best case? Like, oh, this could happen, but this could also happen. So just trying to be more positive and just more kind and loving to people. Again, just oh, that person I like her, so I don't like her. Why? Let's get into that. So just like, or they must have done something bad. So that's why I don't. Just my perspective and just like giving people a chance, being more positive, being more open. Also the criticism as well, because I'm highly critical to myself, and I don't take criticism well from other people. So just my perspective of realizing like everyone is not out to get you just because somebody may want to. I think it's better with correction, which a lot of people in the church are not good at. That'll be for another episode. But just my perspective, just because someone is saying something, like it's not an attack on your character. I take things very personally. So just my perspective on things, and just like think positively. Try to think positively. Stop always assuming the worst about people and things in the world. Yeah, the world sucks sometimes, but I mean.
That's a good self-reflection, though.
Yes, God still created it. There's still beauty. There's still great things. Love, friendship. Again, like, we've known each other for less than 2 years, which is...
Exactly.
We've known you for a life.
I know.
And a half. So just be more positive. I'm remixing my perspective.
Good. I love that.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for being on. You're an amazing... Thank you for... This is really therapy for me. So I hope out there that it's helping you all, because this was really a helpful conversation. Yes. I don't think a lot you get to hear the perspective of people that are just like regular Christians. Yes. Like, I'm not a famous Christian. I'm not like an influencer Christian. I'm like not trying to preach every day online. I just think about things, and we were able to talk about those things today. So I appreciate you. It's been the Rhoyal Remix.
Sorry about missing.
Good job.
That was so easy.